Siku, the Inuktitut word for sea ice, connects communities across the Arctic. Siku, the Indigenous Knowledge Social Network. Siku is a mobile app and web platform created by and for Inuit, providing tools for weather, ice safety, and hunting stories, as well as knowledge transfer and language preservation.
The weather's changing, the ice conditions is changing, and when we're driving a snowmobile or walking, we have to think before we get on that ice.
So this one's no good. If you try to pass by through this, you'll lose your snowmobile.
Siku puts Indigenous knowledge and observations front and center alongside weather and safety services, including sea ice products, tides, marine forecast, and satellite imagery. This lets hunters share dangerous and changing conditions with their communities using their own language and knowledge systems.
We used to get our information on 5 different websites.
Now with Siku, all that information is in one place, also with the information from the elders and hunters.
Siku includes profiles for wildlife, sea ice, and traditional place names in multiple dialects that are taggable and act as living wikis of Indigenous knowledge. Using the mobile app while you're on the land, posts such as hunting stories and GPS tracks can be recorded and uploaded to Siku when you are back in your community. Integrating Indigenous ways of knowing with a suite of modern technologies. Siku, the Indigenous Knowledge Social Network. Now available for Android, iPhone, and online at siku.org. Brought to you by the Arctic Eider Society.
Since time immemorial, we've flourished on Turtle Island. This is our home, where we've raised generations upon generations of our children. Our languages, cultures, and ceremonies define who we are and our connection to this land. Great numbers of foreigners started arriving on our shores. Desires for furs drove them deep into our territories. Millions died through diseases that came with them. They also brought their system of education. All the while our foods were disappearing and our lands stolen. We began to starve. Soon their network of residential schools stretched from coast to coast to coast. We were forced to attend. They finally closed these schools in the 1990s. By then, generations of us had attended.
We are sorry.
We are still here. These are our stories. We share them with you. Who we are, what we've gone through, and the path that lay ahead.
Bonjour, Anine, dine magan duk. Ojoshka vineshi kwa dishne kas, mako dine magan. Kagege mide kwa dam. Dongang Donji. Good morning, boys and girls. Ojoshka vineshi kwa dishne kas, mako dine magan. Kinanakumin nim, bigwach kiminin nim. My English name is Florence Painter, and I'm here to talk to you about the importance of language and culture. Language and culture is the basis of who we are inside. And as a residential school survivor, one of the things that we weren't allowed to speak was our languages, but I'm one of the lucky ones that maintain and retain my language, and now I help promote and encourage everybody that comes from a different ethnic background, First Nations, and whatever language group you may come from. Make sure that you survive your language, because we're doing our best to regenerate ours and to teach it to our youth and to everybody. So learn, even if it's just a few little words like puju, anin, miigwech. Those are really key words that you need to know. And you can go to your relatives to learn more about how to engage yourself, because language and culture are so interconnected. I hope you enjoy your day and the rest of the week learning as much as you can about the language and culture. Miigwech.
Anin Buju Ajawewe Mikaneke Kwe Indigenous Cause, Isla Barker Indigenous Cause. Hi everyone, my name is Isla Barker. I'm a singer-songwriter from Winnipeg, Manitoba. My family's from Barons River First Nation, and I am a RBCX Music First Up artist. And I'm so excited to be here today as part of this event. For me, knowledge and the teachings that I've received from those that have come before me, my aunties, my elders, my grandmothers, all of those things are totally interwoven into everything I do. When it comes to being a storyteller, that's a huge part as well. I find that that's a huge part of my identity as an artist and as a person. And that for sure has come to me from a long line of people before me. And when it comes to my songwriting and how I conduct myself as a person in general, but then also as an artist, I know that I always come back to the teachings that I've been given and reflect on how I can put those into my daily life and try to teach other people as I go as well.
Hello everyone. We are joining here today to commemorate and to launch the Truth and Reconciliation Week. Truth and Reconciliation Week is so important. It's raising awareness of Indigenous peoples of Canada. It's raising awareness of the history. At the same time, we are building reconciliation to make that right relationship between First Nations, Inuit, Métis, and Canadians. So welcome and enjoy this National Truth and Reconciliation Week. We may not be together in person, but we are together online. So please take advantage of these important lessons. Learn of the history, learn of the messages that are coming forward to you, because indeed together we will build truth, we will build healing, and we will build reconciliation. Miigwech, thank you.
Andre, Anin, hello, my friends and relatives. For those of you that don't know, I was given the name Pimose Mayenga, which means walking wolf in the Ojibwe language over 30 years ago. I'm located here on Treaty 1 territory, and I come from a Cree and Ojibwe background. I thought I would share a song with you today to acknowledge the ones that didn't make it home.
Good morning. Welcome to day 2 of Truth and Reconciliation Week. I am Stephanie Scott, Executive Director with the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation. Today we are talking about language and culture. This morning you can join our French session on Métis beadwork and Sashes with Julie DeRoche, Music and Culture with Emma Stevens, Music is Medicine with Shawnee Kish, the Red River Jig with Ivan Flett Memorial Dancers, and Tell Your Story with Rochelle Pomes George. This afternoon, we have a French session with Wapakoni Tele Quebec on languages and culture, diversity from a queer perspective with Adeline Bird, Ryan Cooper, and Sonia Ballantyne. First Nations languages with Elder Claudette Commanda, twice colonized with Aju Peter, and drum teachings from a Northern Cree perspective with Steve Wood. If you feel you have the need to talk to somebody about what you learned or witnessed today, I remind you that we have healing supports available each day online. Miigwech, thank you for joining us.
That's it. You people quiet in this nagasun. My name is Eagle Whistle. My colonized name is Dennis Anderson. My parents were residential school survivors, and I also went to residential school. When my parents went to residential school, they were not allowed to speak their language. They were punished for it. And growing up, they didn't teach us how to speak Cree, so I didn't know my language. And today, I have a granddaughter that's in grade 5, and she's been taking Cree for since she was kindergarten. And today, I also have another granddaughter and a great-granddaughter that are in grade 1 and learning to speak Cree as well too, taking Cree lessons. So it's been a long trip from when our people couldn't speak their language to today being taught how to speak language. I'm going to say.
Start drumming, Coco. Drum. Oh.
Siku, the Inuktitut word for sea ice, connects communities across the Arctic. Siku, the Indigenous Knowledge Social Network. Siku is a mobile app and web platform created by and for Inuit, providing tools for weather, ice safety, and hunting stories, as well as knowledge transfer and language preservation.
The weather's changing, the ice conditions is changing, and when we're driving a snowmobile or walking, we have to think before we get on that ice.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning across the country as well. It's day 2 of Truth and Reconciliation Week, and I'm Andre Gracie, and I'm part of the Reconciliation Week team. And I want to remind all the teachers and welcome all teachers and students, firstly, to this session. You're going to have a wonderful time. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box, and we'll hopefully have time to get to them at the end of the session. I'm so excited to be making this introduction today. I've met and worked with these folks over the years, and they are fabulous. It's the Ivan Flett Memorial Dancers. They are Michael, Jacob, and Sienna Harris, 3 siblings from Winnipeg who share a passion for dance, especially the Red River Jig. Their dance group is named after their grandpa, Ivan Flett, and they dance in honor of him. We are pleased to welcome everyone to the session today entitled The Red River Jig with Modern Dance to Inspire Youth. So over to the Ivan Flett Memorial Dancers. Have fun, guys.
Hello and good morning, all the way from Winnipeg, Manitoba. We are so pleased to be here with everybody. We hope you enjoyed today's performances. So we're going to jump right into it, and we'll speak a little bit more on the group as we go along. So please welcome to the floor the Ivan Flett Memorial Dancers with 7 changes of the Red River Jig. All right, I hope you guys all enjoyed that. That's a nice opener for us. As mentioned, we are the Ivan Flett Memorial Dancers. Allow me to again once to introduce the dancers here, just so you know specifically who they are. I'm going to start off here with Jacob Harris. Quick hello from Jacob. Hello. And right behind me there, Mr. Michael Harris. Hey, what's up, guys? And of course, the lovely Sienna Harris. Hi. We are the Ivan Flett Memorial Dancers, and a little bit about us. Our mission and purpose is to bring hope, motivation, and inspiration to people everywhere, young and old, near and far. We travel the world with this dance, hoping to share and spread our culture through the Red River Jig. In doing so, we get to go to so many places and meet so many new people, and we love doing what we do because that's what we hope to inspire in others. So thank you again for having us here today. And then as the show goes on here, maybe we'll do a little questionnaires and that, especially before the big performance, which I'm sure you guys will all love. And we're going to just continue on here a little bit. And hopefully you guys are enjoying everything. A little bit about the next gig that's coming up here, the dance routine that they're going to show you. Short little story on it. For those who don't know what America's Got Talent is, we were fortunate enough to go down there a few years back, and the story to this goes, in case you want a little bit of humor here today. Mikey came up to my wife and I, and he says, "Mom, Dad, can we please go to America's Got Talent?" And I said, "Sure, son. When is it?" Well, at the time, he's like, "Well, it's next week." So it was very short notice. And we're like, "Okay, so what are you guys going to do?" He's like, "Well, I don't know yet." So I gave them a couple of days to work on the routine. And they showed us the routine. We loved it so much that we try to be as supportive as we can with our family and kids, that we jumped into our family vehicle. We drove to Memphis, Tennessee, 24 hours straight, where they auditioned for 90 seconds. And then we drove right back home. Needless to say, it was a wonderful experience. And you guys are going to see that routine right now. Woo! So I'm sure you guys all enjoyed that. I'm going to take a knee here as I talk to everybody. Now that was the routine that they came up with, and of course we call it the hip hop jig. And they get great accolades from it. Everybody seems to love it, and I taught them everything they know. And of course, I'm just kidding. I couldn't do that if I tried. So there's competitions and stuff, and everywhere we go, and the kids tend to place and win a lot of awards. And I don't say this to brag about them or anything like that. I say it because of the hard work and dedication that they put into it. Now, Mikey, he is a 7 former time world jigging champion. And then a few years ago, Jacob entered his age category, and then Jacob dethroned his brother. So Jacob is a former 4-time world jigging champion. Now, their little sister entered their category a couple years back, and guess what? She dethroned her brothers. And not only did she dethrone him, she is still the current 2-time youth jigging champion. And then, of course, there was a new category a few years back that was opened up. It's called the couples. And Jacob and Sienna entered it. And would you believe it or not, they were the only ones and the youngest ones to still hold this title. They are the 3-time back-to-back-to-back couples jigging champions. So we're going to give them 3 changes of the Red River Jig. You guys like that? That is some high stepping energy right there. So, a little bit about the jig. I think we're going to dive right into where the jig came from. It actually derived right here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, along the Assiniboine and Red River. I don't know if many people might know where the Forks is in Winnipeg, but it's a main hotspot back then, about 200 years ago, where the Red River Jig was kind of created, and it was actually created for a purpose. There was these travelers and fur traders, and they would pass by these Métis settlements, and they wouldn't even stop at these settlements. So the Métis people, they created this dance. And with this dance, they actually attracted the fur traders. The fur traders and travelers, they would actually stop in these towns and settlements. They would start visiting for a day, 2 days, 3 days. And it, believe it or not, it turned into almost a 200-year festival. Of course, it's named a little differently. I don't know if people are aware of the Festival de Voyageurs that goes on in Winnipeg. It's they try to assimilate what goes on with the Métis people. So again, the dance was created to attract the fur traders. It obviously worked because here we are 200 years later, still sharing the culture as we go along. And that is the purpose of the dance. Now, the dance itself was actually created from a fiddle tune. So I'm going to get into a little bit of history here about the fiddling. And I did a little bit of research on this. And the way the fiddle goes was, there was an old man way back then in the early 1800s. And there was settlement people across the Red River. And they heard these bagpipes. And these bagpipes played a certain tune. And the guy had a fiddle in his hand. And he tried to mimic the bags. And somehow he ended up coming up with the Red River Jig. And then you'll hear those high notes and low notes. That actually he tried to mimic the European people's musical instruments. So that's how the fiddle came to be with the Red River Jig. And the Red River Jig itself was actually became very well known, I believe, in the 1860s at a wedding. And that's kind of where it just really branched out from there, and all of a sudden just kept going and going and going. And so that's how the Red River Jig became about. Now, we're going to get into some questions. If you have any questions, I don't know if we're able to hear people, but I'm going to bring in Mr. Mikey Harris here to share a little bit about us and what they do before we get into the next performance. So welcome, Mikey Harris. I don't know if we're able to get people's mics on. We get to answer some questions as well if they have. But here he is.
Okay, so how you guys doing? Everyone's good out there? I wish I could see you guys, but yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to take that as a yes. So my name is Mikey Harris, and pretty much, so my dad spoke about the history of the Red River Jig. So what we've done with the Red River Jig now is we've taken the traditional stuff that we've done since we were 4 years old, and we all started dancing hip hop in high school. So when I started dancing hip hop in high school, I'm pretty sure all you guys know what hip hop is out there. Hip hop music is really popular, especially for you younger folks. So you should know what it is. And when I was 16, I joined the hip hop team at my high school. And I was like, this is cool. Okay. So I took jigging, and then I also started dancing hip hop. I was like, what would it be like if I fused the two together? So I pretty much just picked a song. I picked, it's called Look At Me Now, and it's like a Busta Rhymes verse, and it's really, really quick. It's really fast. He's just rapping really quickly. And I took all these fast jigging steps and put them with it, and it worked out pretty well. And it was a good time. And then we got on, we went into quarantine, okay? And then you guys all know what TikTok is. I'm pretty sure you guys know what TikTok is out there, right? I'm gonna take that as a yes also, okay? And then we got on TikTok back in November of last year, and we uploaded some videos up there of us doing the what we call the hip hop jig, and it did really, really well. Our page just kind of blew up, and people just really enjoyed the fast footwork with the fast-paced music. So we're gonna show you a routine right now. It's to a beatbox song. So the goal was to hit every single beat with our feet, but with jigging moves. So you'll see some of the moves that we already did in this routine, but it's just really, really quick, and it's to a beatbox song. So we're gonna get that set up for you guys, and then we'll do that for you. Woo! And then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna ask if you guys have any questions, And then our last routine is about 5 minutes long of us just straight dancing and giving her. So we'll take some time to answer some questions, and then we'll hit our last routine for you guys. Okay. Hope everyone's doing good out there. But this routine, again, let's give it a try. We've just recently added into our show, and you know, it's been going really well. We really enjoy doing it. So you guys let us know if we hit every beat, okay? So watch closely because it goes by pretty quick, okay? Again, it was a TikTok, so usually TikToks are like 30 seconds to a minute long, okay? All right, I'm gonna get my dad to press play, and we're just gonna go for here, okay? Here we go. Here we go. So, yeah, that is just an example of what we did on TikTok. So, and yeah, that's kind of what we do with the jig now. Hip hop, jig, throw it together. That's us.
Very cool, Michael. I've got some questions for you.
Hey.
So one of the things I wanted to know was, what is your TikTok account?
Okay. So all the stuff gets posted on my account. It's Mikey Harris, MikeyYyHarriss.
You'll get a bunch of new followers, I think.
Beautiful.
One of the questions, I'm going to go through a couple of the questions quickly. What age did everyone start dancing?
Good question. So pretty much that story goes is I was around 3 years old, and I saw a performance done by my auntie Ashley. She was dancing with the Ashram Stompers at the time, and I wanted to learn, so I asked my grandma to teach me, and I started jigging around 4 years old. And then Jacob, he wanted to join because he kind of noticed that I was kind of leaving home and going to do these little gigs and stuff at 6 years old. So he started at 5 years old. Sienna then came along a couple of years later and also started at 5. So we're all just little babies when we started. We're all 2 years apart. I'm now 21. Jacob's 19. Sienna's 17.
Well,
that's that little story.
We're getting so many people saying amazing. They wish you could hear them clapping. They think you're amazing. One question was, how can you make your legs move so fast?
How do we make her move? So you know what? Again, that's just like practice makes perfect, right? I know that's like very vague to say, but literally, again, we've been doing it since we were just babies. So practice this over. We've been doing this, like we do like 100 shows a year. We've been dancing for like almost 30 years together. So wow. It's crazy. Yeah.
Now somebody asked, like, do you practice every day, and how long would you practice every day?
So back when we were like starting out when we were younger, I'd say around 12, 10, we used to practice quite a bit, but recently it's been kind of just like we've been doing it together for so long that we can go to performance and we have this chemistry where we just feel, okay, we're gonna do this move, and that move, and we're good to go. So practice isn't as often as we used to, because now we do have our show set anyways, and usually when we make new like dances and stuff, it becomes pretty easy because we all just have that, you know, chemistry, right? So
absolutely,
we get past that pretty quickly. Yeah.
And because they're so busy lately, their shows is their practice.
Right. Somebody asked, what a change? What do you mean when you say it's a change?
Okay, good question. Hey. So the Red River Jig, there's 2 sections of the Red River Jig, okay? So there's a high note in the fiddle, and then there's a low section. So during the high notes is when we do what's called the basic step of the Red River Jig, okay? And that's the Red River Jig that was created in the late 1700s, what my dad spoke about, okay? The basic Red River Jig, which is this guy. And then there's fancy steps, okay? And we do fancy steps during the low notes of the Red River Jig. So there's a high note and a low note. During the low notes, we do a fancy step, and that's kind of what you would call a change. Okay, so like earlier when Sienna, Jacob, and myself, we did 7 changes of the Red River Jig. We did 2 each, 1 together. Hope that kind of makes sense. It's just every time that low note drops, you have to switch to a new change or a fancy step.
Do you ever teach other young people?
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Some of the teachers were asking if you could teach a step, just a short step to the kids.
I got you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna hope you guys are standing up. Okay, spread out really quickly. I'll give you really quickly the basic step. Okay, so usually when we're jigging, we start with our right foot back. Okay, like this. Okay, this is starting position. Okay, and we're gonna count 3 times. So we go 3, 2, 1. We're gonna kick. Okay, from the side that looks like this, I'm kicking my leg up to bring it down. Tap again. Okay, so that's 3 moves. We go 3, 2, 1. We go kick, tap, tap, switch, kick, tap, tap, switch, kick, tap, tap. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Now you're gonna add a bounce. Okay, so everyone go like this really quickly. Okay, I know it feels weird, but this is what we're gonna do. Okay, and we're gonna hop 3 times. So you want to think up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. With that right foot back on this first kick, that's gonna initiate you to go up. Okay, and we're gonna go down, down. Goes 3, 2, 1, up, down, down. Switch, up, down, down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Speed it up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whew. So
wow, that's amazing.
That's the basic step real quick.
I wish you could see how many people are saying spectacular, you're amazing, you're wonderful. Like this is such a hit. A lot of grade 5, 6s, and 7s, and they're just in awe of what you're doing. One last question before I let you go on to your next one is, what is your favorite song to dance to? They're asking. I've got many people asking that question.
So I think that's individual questions. Jacob and Sandy, you guys are gonna put your answers in also. I think my favorite one is the one that we're gonna do shortly. It's called the Orange Blossom. Okay. The reason why is because it starts slow, not slow, but it starts slower, and then it picks up speed, and it goes really quick, kind of like a train. That's kind of the point of the song. Is just like it's a train that's getting quicker and quicker and quicker. So that's why I like that one. The Orange Blossom special for me. Jacob and Sienna, take it away.
My favorite one is probably the mixture of the modern and dance mixed together, just because that's my thing, you know. I really like it, so yeah.
Mine is, we do this dance, it's called Devil Went Down to Georgia. I like it because the steps that we put into it are my favorite steps. And I don't know, I just really like that one. I have fun doing that dance.
Well, I'm a huge fan of yours, and I just see by all these comments that you just have just a huge following here today. Oh, they want to know if you're on Instagram.
Yeah, the same thing. So you'll find us on there as, you can find our group page under IFMD Family, or you can find, us all separately, Mikey Harris, Jacob Harris, and Sienna Harris. We're all up there. So
this is, I want this, I promise this is the last question, but they want to know about your regalia or your outfits. Are they connected with the Métis culture?
Yeah, so these outfits, fun fact, they're made by our grandmother, okay? Grandma makes all of our outfits from scratch, and she just made these ones. It's her first time wearing them.
First time wearing these ones. Grandma makes all of them, and of course, like back in the old days, they would wear these fancy outfits with moccasins, and of course, we just kind of modernized it today with these fancy outfits as well. And Grandma is in the home here somewhere. I would have brought her up, but I think she's a little busy.
But yeah, she handmades the outfits from scratch, and she does a wonderful job with it. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you all again for having us today. Hope you guys enjoy the big finale. As me as a spectator, when I'm in the crowd or at the side or whatever, this is my favorite dance, the breakdown, because it's kind of a combination of everything we saw. So again, thank you all for having us, and hope you enjoy the show. Please follow the kids, as they mentioned. They gave out their names there, and hope to see you guys again, maybe in person someday.
Absolutely.
So thank you once again. So here they are one more time with the breakdown, the Ivan Flett Memorial Dancers.
Hey-o! Just got to get the song ready, but I hope you guys had a good time. Here's our breakdown. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. All right.
so much. Thank you, guys. Hope to see you real soon.
Thank you, guys.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Woo!
I understand